Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I'm James. Happy Thanksgiving, and you're watching Blue Dog Aquatics. Alright guys, I'm shooting this on Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping that you guys have a great turkey day and that you're with your friends and family and loved ones enjoying this special time and being thankful for a lot of things that have happened throughout the last couple of years, and being thankful that you have family and friends to go around to. Us here at Blue Dog Aquatics, we want to make sure that you have the right deals and the right animals and the right enclosures and everything for your other little loved ones, which are your reptiles, your fish, everything like that. So without further ado, today we're going to talk about mangrove monitors. We actually had one that came to us down in Texas for Aquashella Dallas, and it was a little unexpected because we weren't prepared for it. The guy literally came to us and he said, well, it's got to go home with you. So guess what? We did a trade. We sold him some frogs and we came home with a mangrove monitor. Well, good news. On a side note, the store will be finished. We fired our other contractor. He was just taking way too long, and we hired a new one, and the store will actually be done with construction finally next week. So we're going to start moving everybody in. Now, back to the mangrove monitor, and I'll throw up pictures randomly of him. He likes to hide. Right now, we have him in a temporary enclosure, and it helps that he's a little bit of a babe, like he's a juvenile, so it helps that he's still small. But he will be going in our paludarium at the shop. Now, if you're ever thinking, well, is a mangrove monitor the right animal for me? Well, there's some things you need to know. First off, they're Western Pacific, so they're from Australia, New Guinea, stuff like that. These guys they're arboreal. They love to climb. They love water. I mean, this is one thing that I didn't know about them, but they're one of the few lizards that'll actually take on and prefer in their diet baby crocodile. I mean, you gotta be some kind of, excuse my language, but badass to take on a crocodile and be successful at that. But without further ado, we'll jump into it here. So if you want to get a mangrove monitor, we'll make sure you're all set up properly. Alright guys, this is a 40 breeder that we have temporarily set up. Don't mind the plants. These are going to go in the paludarium, so they're just growing on their own in a 5-gallon bucket. But this is a temporary home that we have for the mangrove monitor. The substrate in here is a mixture of organic topsoil substrate mixed with reptile bark. That way they can dig and burrow themselves. He also has a branch in there temporarily. He has a feeding dish, a log to hide, which is actually, I don't know if you can see him. Oh, look. He's peeking out this side. There he is. Now, we have a huge water dish, and you're like, well, it's really dirty. Well, that's the cost of owning a mangrove monitor. They love, love, love to be in the water. You do a little sneak peek of him, see if he runs. We haven't worked with him a whole lot, only because we've only had him for a little bit, so we're letting him go through his quarantine process, making sure that he's healthy and all that. But without further ado, we'll jump into what you need for him. First off, you need the UVB light. You also need a basking light. Now, you may say, well, seems a little small for him. Well, it's a 40 breeder. He's a juvenile, so he's actually all right in it. You can see we actually got a 5-gallon bucket, and we got rocks on the top of the screen. That's because within 2 seconds of him being in here, he was looking for an escape. And I was like, okay, I've had some things escape before, but I don't want him to escape. And there's a big reason for that. So in their mouth, they actually have razor sharp teeth. And they actually have a mixture of bacteria, and get this, they have venom, which will send you a one-way ticket straight to the hospital. That is something we didn't know, so anytime we handle him, we make sure to use our bite gloves, which are Kevlar. You can get those on Amazon. But there's a lot of stuff that you need to know, and alright guys, like I said, these guys come from New Guinea, they come from Australia. They love being arboreal. I mean, they love climbing up. I'm sorry, and on a side note, I do apologize for us not doing a video. I was kind of in a mood and really just didn't have my full energy in putting a video. We were going to have a surprise for today. We were supposed to get 2 alligator lizards in, and I thought it was coming from a reputable distributor, and it ended up being a scam, and I'm out $600 now. And yeah, just make sure that, and all it was one word in the website that I didn't see, and that was the difference between a scammer and the actual distributor. So make sure when you're ordering from somebody that you know exactly who you're ordering it from. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I want you to learn through my mistake and through my lesson, and I'll tell you what, I will be a lot more careful from here on out. But anyway, also, thank you guys for subscribing. You guys are doing awesome. Our channel's blowing up, you know, with every new video that we come out. Exciting news, we actually finally got monetized, which is all thanks to you guys for watching our videos and staying tuned each and every Monday and Friday. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you guys can stay up to date with all of our new and exciting videos. With the store getting done, Monday I think we're going to do a shrimp video. And then after that, we're actually going to show you updates, and each Monday and Friday we're going to bring you setting up frog enclosures, lizard enclosures, shrimp aquarium enclosures, how to build shrimp racks, do it yourself. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of stuff that we want to show you guys, so that if this is a dream of yours, that you can make it happen as well. We always want you to shoot for your dreams, and that's something I'm very thankful for on this Thanksgiving. Is I'm thankful that, you know, we've all worked those it seems like those tedious jobs where we're like, oh man, I just don't want to do it anymore. And guess what? In July, when I got sick this year, I got really sick, but I'm doing much better now. But it was kind of an awakening for me, because I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I don't want to go through the motions of doing a job that I hate, and going through and driving an hour to work one way, and then driving an hour back, and then barely getting to see my girlfriend and the kids, and it just wasn't worth it for me. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna do it. And so that's what I did. I quit my job. I started lining everything up, and thanks to you guys believing in me the whole step of the way, we're making it happen, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. So for that, on this Thanksgiving, I want to say thank you to you, the subscribers, and you, the viewers. So back to Mangrove monitors. I know we kind of got a little sidetracked there, but it's this brain. I swear there's like nuts up here. It's spinning wheels all the time. But anyway, so mangrove monitors, they typically grow about 3.5 to 4.5 feet. And That's a big lizard. For granted, they don't get the bulk that savanna monitors do, but they like to be in water. So that's why we're thinking about putting them in the paludarium, because he'll have the arboreal space where he can climb way up high, and then the whole bottom will be water for him. Now, a really cool fact that I didn't know is that they can actually swim deep down into depths of water to get a fish or to get a crocodile or whatever they're hungry for, which leads us into what their diet is. Their diet, they are not picky. They are carnivores 100%. They're not like your beardies where you need vegetables and stuff like that. They'll eat pinkies, they'll eat rats, they'll eat, obviously, like we said, crocodiles, they'll eat dubias, insects. I mean, you name it, they'll eat it. I mean, they are, well, and on that, you know, they're scavengers. So they want to make sure that they stay fed, so they're going to do just like what any other lizard will do. If it's there, they're going to take it down because they don't know when their next meal is going to be. Now, so we talked about what their diet is, and we can go back into their lighting. Make sure to have a basking light for them. They do need a basking spot of about 95 degrees, and then the overall temperature needs to be about 85 degrees, with the overall at night needs to be in the low 70s. So you want to make sure to have hot spots and cool spots for them, and as they get bigger, obviously you're going to have to bump them up to bigger enclosures. So be ready for that and be mindful of that. If you're also going to do an enclosure that has, so right now we have rocks on top of the enclosure, but with something like the paludarium that's going to have sliding front doors, we're putting locks on it so that there's no way, because they got them little claws and we don't want them like sliding the door open. That'd be a weird first call awakening. But yeah, so we talked about diet, we talked about what they're heating and their lighting. Now water, you need to have water for them. Not only do they drink it, but they also swim in it. That's how it helps them shed, you know, it helps them cool off. But with water, they're like any other monitor. They mess that stuff up. I change out this guy's, which I found out from the other person that had him. His name's Larry. Larry the monitor. But you have to change out their water almost daily. They mess it up so bad. So when we make the paludarium for him, we're going to be very careful as to how we orchestrate it so he doesn't mess up the sumps and the filtration and all that. So it'll be something that my buddy Will is actually going to come up and help us with from Custom Cages, and that'll be really exciting to do for him. I cannot wait to see it fully set up, and we will take you guys on that journey each and every way. Now, another thing to be mindful of is, because they have a nasty bite, you need to, if you're thinking about getting a mangrove monitor, you need to think about whether or not you're going to handle it or not. If you want to handle this monitor, make sure to get a juvenile, make sure they're captive bred, that way they're free of parasites, and work with them daily. Like I said, right now he's going through his quarantine process, which I do for 10 to 14 days depending on the animal or the species, and I don't mess with them at all. I put food in there, I clean up their water, I touch up their substrate if, you know, they went to the bathroom, but I don't mess with them because if they do have a disease or something, I don't want that to transfer to any other reptile. Now, while I'm on that note, if you do have multiple reptiles, I've heard about, lately a lot of people are saying that their reptiles are getting sick. The biggest thing that you can help to avoid this is to either A, wash your hands in between handling different species of reptiles, or use hand sanitizer in between. So either way works. Man, it can get tricky when I'm going through and working with snakes, because each time, you know, I'm doing hand sanitizer, and then at the end I'll wash my hands completely, and it's not only protecting the animal, but it's also protecting you. So be mindful of that. Now, so we talked about diet, we talked about lighting. Let's talk about the enclosure. Like I said, right now, Larry's in a 40 breeder, which, I mean, is all right. He has a few trees to climb on and this and that, but he's gonna get 3.5 to 4 feet with a lifespan of around 10 years, 10 plus years. That's a long commitment for a monitor for someone. I mean, if you want an animal that is gonna look pretty and that you're like, okay, you know, this is gonna be awesome, plan on having that reptile for a long time. Don't just get it as an impulse for Christmas or a birthday, and then like 2 weeks later they're like, oh, it's not interesting or it's not as exciting anymore. Don't do that. That's unfair to the animal because it stresses out that animal even more. But like I said, when these guys get big, you need a big enclosure. A minimum 8 foot long, 3 foot deep, 3 foot tall. Minimum. And you could even invert it, kind of like we did with the green tree python enclosure that we did the custom build on. Oh, also, sneak preview on that. So the male green tree python's doing much better. He's a lot healthier, and I don't know why this never crossed my mind. Putting a male and female together, I was like, oh yeah, they'll be fine. Breeding never crossed my mind, but it did to them, and now I have a pissed off female that is pregnant. So it's been a research that I didn't think I was gonna have to do, but it is what it is. We'll have little green tree python babies, so those will be cute. But guys, that's it for today. Like I said, if you're gonna invest in one of these animals, the mangroves, I mean, they're beautiful animals. They have a lot of colorations, but make sure it's the right reptile for you, and make sure that you want to go through the commitment of that long process of their lifespan. I mean, I love each and every one of my reptiles, from my scorpions to my chameleons to my monitors, and I know that, hey, guess what? If something doesn't sell, I'm with that animal for its life, and I'm okay with that. So make sure you are too. Hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the time with your family, and travel safe coming back home if you went somewhere else. So thanks guys, and as always, the big question, your tank or mine?